Good morning, and welcome to another First Five. I wonder something. Have you ever been wrong? I'm sure the answer is no, because, of course, none of us like to admit when we're wrong. And sometimes this need to not admit when we're wrong actually leads us to more problems than if we would just say, you know what, I don't know, or I was wrong and I'm sorry. In Mark chapter 9, we actually find Jesus walking into a situation that, under some speculation and reading of the story and the setting, you may have found that the disciples got themselves into this very predicament, where they thought they were right and they thought they knew what they were doing, and then when it didn't work out the way they had planned, rather than go, maybe we need Jesus to figure this out for us, they get into an argument. So, Mark chapter 9, starting in verse 14, it says, when they came to the other disciples, they saw a large crowd around them, and the teachers of the law arguing with them. As soon as all the people saw Jesus, they were overwhelmed with wonder and ran to greet him. What are you arguing with them about? He asked. A man in the crowd answered, Teacher, I brought you my son, who is possessed by a spirit that has robbed him of speech. Whenever it seizes him, it throws him to the ground. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. I asked your disciples to drive out the spirit, but they could not. O unbelieving generation, Jesus replied, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy to me. So they brought him. When the spirit saw Jesus, it immediately threw the boy into a convulsion. He fell to the ground and rolled around, foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the boy's father, how long has he been like this? From childhood, he answered. It has often thrown him into fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. If you can, said Jesus, everything is possible for him who believes. Immediately the boy's father exclaimed, I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief. When Jesus saw that a crowd was running to the scene, he rebuked the evil spirit. You deaf and mute spirit, he said, I command you, come out of him and never enter him again. The spirit shrieked, convulsed him violently, and came out. The boy looked so much like a corpse that many said, he's dead. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him to his feet, and he stood up. After Jesus had gone indoors, his disciples asked him privately, why couldn't we drive it out? He replied, this kind can only come out by prayer. Here we find the disciples who had attempted to do something that either they weren't ready to do or they weren't doing the correct way. And what had happened is it actually created a problem in the crowd that they were in. And then to take it a step farther, the man who ends up coming directly to Jesus to have his boy healed says words that Jesus catches his mind. And he says, if you can, take pity on us. And often as Christians, we make this mistake. We make the mistake where we say, if you can, or if you will, rather than just asking Jesus the bold question and waiting for his answer. The man could have said, please heal my son. But now he's doubtful. He's doubtful because the followers of Jesus, those closest to him, misrepresented Jesus' ability. They misrepresented him. So as followers of Jesus ourselves, who I believe many of you watching this video are, our call is to look to the world and do our best to represent Jesus in it. And when things don't go as planned, rather than argue with the people because we believe that we're right, we should look to ourselves and go, maybe it's a me problem. And the disciples went to Jesus privately at the end and said, why couldn't we do it, Jesus? And he said, this kind comes out by prayer. So are you willing to walk in your life and say, you know what? I want to represent Jesus with my life. But when I'm unable to do so, am I humble enough to go to Jesus myself and say, I know you can, and I can't. So I need you. Please teach me to better represent you so that the crowds are unified in their love for you. I hope this is helpful, and we'll see you next time.